Hey. I am so excited about this class today because we're going to be talking all about why it's never too late for you to find your life's purpose. Listen, I do this work so often. And so often, the thing that I hear the most, especially coming from women, is that it's too late for me to change jobs. It's too late for me to go back to school. It's too late for me to just figure out what I was placed on this earth to do. And to that I say that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy that we think that it's too late for us to try to figure out what it is we were placed on this earth to do. I can remember when I was at a place in my life where I thought that I didn't know my purpose. And let me tell you, I would cry all the time because I thought that I didn't know my purpose. And what I didn't know was the vehicle, right? And I explained this in my last class. All of our purpose in life is to help somebody, right? Your purpose is to help somebody be amazing, right? To make the world a better place. That's what your purpose in life is. That's what my purpose in life is. But at the end of the day, where we get mixed up at is really what I consider the vehicle in which we disseminate our purpose onto the world. So what do I mean by that? My purpose in life is to help other women discover their purpose and find a career that they love, right? Whether that be a business, a job, whatever. That's my purpose in life. But how I do that is through teaching classes. I'm a professor at a university, at Life University here in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Masters of Positive Psychology program. I write books. I speak on stages across the world. That is how I share my purpose with the world. And that's where we get mixed up at. A lot of times we don't understand that the vehicle that we choose can change over time. And if you're with me right now, joining me live, go ahead and place your name in the chat. And if you got any questions, you can go ahead and place your name in the chat as well. And so what we don't understand is that vehicle that we're trying to share with other people. But the question and the challenge that I hear all the time is that you all think it's too late to go back to school, to find another job, to even start a business. And when I say too late, you ain't even got to be old. Like, I talk to so many women that are not even old, who feel like it's too late. Like, a lot of times we feel like, I got 3 kids or 4 kids, or I have, a spouse. I have all these things that are standing in my way that are going to hinder me from going back to school. And so therefore it's too late for me. And I say, we got to stop it, because it's not too late for you to start all over. Let me give you a prime example. So I have a bachelor's degree from my undergrad, Berea College in Kentucky. And when I was at Berea College, I knew that I loved psychology. Some of us love a subject or something like that. But because of the barriers, because of what it takes, because of all of that is involved in us going after those barriers or after that thing, we decide not to go through with it at the time. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to make decisions for ourselves that are going to be beneficial to us at the time. So when I was in undergrad, I loved psychology. Loved it. I've loved it from ever. Like, me trying to help my mom get off of drugs was the biggest thing for me. And I wanted to learn how she ticked, how, what made her, go down that route. So I love psychology. I wanted to know what made people do what they did. However, when I was an undergrad, I also was a single mom of a 3, 4, 5 year old. Like, I mean, he grew up, and I just couldn't fathom going back to school to get a PhD for 6 more years, right? Like, I just couldn't fathom what that was going to look like. And so I decided to go back to school, and I got a degree in social work. So I got my social work, not PhD, but my master's in social work from the University of Georgia. Go Bulldogs. And so I did that, and it was great. It was great, great, great for a long while until it wasn't, because I would sit and I would think about this gift that God has given me of communication and how I was should be able to use that gift. And I knew that there was something else, and that something else for me was ultimately speaking and communicating and pouring into the lives of women. And so I did social work for a long while, but I knew I wanted to speak. So I ultimately quit my job as a social worker, started a speaking company, and something happened when I was there. Women started asking me to help them more, to help them more, to help them implement what we talked about and what I talked about in my speeches. And I later found out that that thing was called coaching. And I am now, out of school. I done got a master's in social work. And so now I'm contemplating, okay, do I go back to school to get to just get a certification in coaching? Because let me just say, I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent here, but not too much. There are so many people who are considering themselves coaches, but those people have not gone to no coach training. And I was one of those people, those people in the beginning. But I believe that if you're going to do anything good, you need to get trained with that thing. And so I was like, well, am I going to go and get my coach training, or am I going to go get my PhD? By this time, life is life, and we are doing our thing, moving forward, all the things, right? And I just contemplated that thing so much. I remember my best friend saying, "Baby, you need to make a decision," because I stressed out about that thing so much. And I'm like, well, maybe it's too late. Like, I already done got a master's degree, and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that if you're going to do something, you should do it well. You should do it to the best of your ability, and you should learn how to do it. So I ultimately decided that I was going to go back and get a certification in coaching. And around that time, I found a school called Life University that has a master's in positive psychology, which is the study of what goes right with you versus what's wrong with you, the study of strengths, happiness, thriving, all of that. So I went back to school and got a master's in positive psychology, and it had an emphasis on coaching. And so that means I have then 2 masters. And so when I was contemplating going back, I was like, man, who needs 2 master's degrees? But I ultimately decided to go back and get the master's degree because I thought that, yeah, I can go back and get a certification in coaching. But to me, a master's is even better, because if it's going to cost me somewhat near the same amount of money, I might as well do that. And I had already been in school for the longest. Hi, Mardell. Thanks for joining. Good morning. And so I had already been in school for the longest. So I said, okay, cool. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get this. Master's degree. At the time, y'all, I was pregnant with my daughter. Now, I want to paint a picture for you, because a lot of times, man, this topic is so timely. I talk to women all the time, and we think that because life is lifing, that we can't do what we need to do for ourselves. And I get it. Trust me, I understand it. So I was literally pregnant with my daughter when I went back to school to get my master's in positive psychology. I walked across the stage while I was still pregnant with her in December of 2016. So I was pregnant with her. She wasn't born until April 2017. So I was pretty much pregnant pretty much the whole time throughout the program. And you would think that it was too late for me to start something over. And why? I already have a bachelor's, I already have a master's, but I understand that in order to be great at something, you need to be trained. And I wanted to be trained at that thing. And so it mattered to me that I was going to go back to school. So I went back to school. Here I am pregnant, back in school with my daughter. I'm carrying her. And people are like, how are you doing this? You're pregnant, you're back in school. But at the end of the day, we have to do what we have to do. We have to stop making excuses for the things that's going on around us. We'll do all these other things for other people, but we will do things for us last. We do it all the time. I mean, like even now, right? Like we just moved into a new house. My kids' room is done. Their room is done. My office is half done. As you can see, I'm trying to get it together. It's half done. But at the end of the day, we still have to move forward. Erica, hey, how are you doing, love? It's so good to see you. So we do these things for others, but not for ourselves. So I went back to school and everybody was wondering, like, what the heck are you doing? You're pregnant. Why are you doing this? I was like, you know what? I need to get this degree and, I'll be good. So I went, got the degree, started coaching, really, really, really coaching. I was coaching before that, but now I knew, right? I knew exactly what I was doing. And so I started this full-fledged coaching business, right? I was coaching. But in the process, right, that little ping of me still loving psychology was still there. It never went away. And that's what I'm going to tell you all, right? I'm going to tell you all that when you want something or when you've loved something for so long, it don't just automatically go away. It doesn't. It stays with you. Now, you can choose to do something about it, or you can choose not to do anything about it. Both of those things are a choice. And so, but that little ping was still there. So I had a professor, shout out to my friend, Nikki Parsons, who challenged me. He was like, I just really think you need to go and get your PhD in psychology. And I'm like, oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? And then one day my husband, Jamil, he came home. He said, yeah, babe, I decided to go back to get my PhD. Him talking about himself. And he was like, and you know how you are. You don't want to regret not getting yours. So you need to go ahead and figure out what you're going to do. And I'm like, what? Is that a challenge, honey? One thing about me, I'm a little competitive. And so I applied to school, was in school before him. I graduated for my husband, but he did graduate. So we was both in school at the same time getting a PhD. Now, you would also think that that's too late. Like, why, Dr. Kiki, do you need a bachelor's, 2 masters, and now a PhD? I asked myself that question too. Like, for real, right? Why do you need all those things? But here's the thing. It's never too late to go after your purpose. I've loved psychology since day one. Me trying to help my mom get off of drugs was just one of those things that, filled me up in terms of just, wanting to see her do good and ultimately wanting to see other women do well. And we need to equip ourselves with the tools that are necessary for us to then go out and be what we're supposed to be. I already had the skills in terms of the communication and all of that. I already had that. But what I didn't have was all of the knowledge that I was going to need in order to do what I needed to do, which is have the vehicle to actually share that knowledge. I needed a PhD to do that. And so you would think that it was too late by that time. I already got 4 degrees. But no, I still went back to school. I still went back to school and got my PhD. And guess what? During my very first year of grad school, I got pregnant. Oh, y'all, I can't make this up. Now, let me tell you how crazy this is. With my daughter, Mackenzie, it took me 5 cycles of in vitro in order to have her. 5 cycles. With my son, he just popped up on the scene. And I know y'all have heard this happening to people before. Well, I'm one of those people that it happened to. We didn't have to have any in vitro or anything like that. He just popped up on the scene. And so I'm now starting a PhD program and I'm pregnant again. I'm like, what? Why do I just have to have all these kids while I'm in school? Could I just not go to school or do one at a time? Nope, that's not what it was for me. I couldn't go to school and do one at a time. I clearly I had to do them all. So I am. I'm faced with a dilemma because now people are asking me like, don't you think this is a little bit much? It might be a little too late for you to go, get your PhD and stuff like that. But here's the thing. I think differently. I think that a lot of times when you are fighting for something and you know exactly what you're fighting for and you have a why, I think that it's easier to go after a dream when you truly have a why. My why was my kids and the fact that I knew I wanted to do some things with my PhD, like really study happiness, really study purpose. I wanted to also teach, right, at the collegiate level, at college level. In order to do that, most of the time you need to have a PhD. So I had a mission. And so for me, I didn't listen to the naysayers telling me it's too late, right? That, I done missed the boat. It's too late for me to really step into my purpose. And you might be listening to people too, tell you it's too late. You might be listening to yourself telling you it's too late to figure out your purpose in life, or it's too late for you to go after your dreams. That's not true. It's only too late if you tell yourself it's too late. I done went through a master's and a PhD while being pregnant the whole time. And people ask me, and this is a fair question, right? This is a fair question. People say, are you going to take a break? Right? And as I thought about the answer to that question, I filtered that question like I filter all the rest of the questions in my life. And this is something that I've always done. I try not to make decisions about what I'm going to do in the future about a difficult situation until I've actually experienced the situation. What do I mean by that, right? I could have taken a break because I anticipated it was going to be very hard, right? I could have taken a break because I anticipated that the load was going to be very hard. And let me just tell you, I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it wasn't difficult to be pregnant and having a baby, getting a PhD at the same time. Like, I did it with my daughter. That was a master's degree. This is a PhD. For all the PhDs, shout out to my peeps out there. Man, when I say it was difficult, but I truly believe that most of us don't know our limits. We don't know our capabilities. You don't know your capabilities in life. You don't know your limits. And I choose not to make decisions on my limit until I have experienced the limit and say, oh, this is extremely too much. I can't do this. That never happened. It was a lot, but I found a way to overcome it. Did I find a way by myself? No, I have an amazing husband. I have a bomb support system, friends and family who literally helped me, just through that whole time. But was it so much that I had to take a break or I had to quit? No, it wasn't. And chances are for you, it might not be that much either. But we decide to do things because part of the reason is we're scared. We're fearful of what that might look like. We're fearful it might be too much. If it's too much, then I make a decision, right? If it's too much, you can make a decision then. But don't anticipate that you know how strong you are. Because I truly believe that most of us ain't even hit the surface of how strong we truly are, or how much we can withstand, how resilient we really are. And so for me, if I look back on my history, I know for a fact that I'm super resilient. I've been through a whole bunch of stuff. You've been through a whole bunch of stuff in your life. So you're probably way more resilient than you're giving yourself credit for. So don't quit, right? Don't count yourself out before you know what the real deal really is. Don't do that to yourself. So here I was. People were saying, are you going to take a break? Are you going to quit? Like, you doing a whole lot. Like, I literally had people telling me I'm doing the most. And I ain't gonna lie, looking from the outside in, that's probably what they saw. But for me, I saw I'm following my dream. I'm following my dream. And you need to follow your dream as well. It is not too late for you to follow your dream. It's not. And so this is why I truly wanted to do this class, is because I really wanted to encourage, I wanted to encourage you to go after your dream. Erica says, I can relate. You were in medical school and pregnant. Oh my gosh, it's not a joke. And I miss you too. It's not a joke. Life be lifing. And you better hope that life keep lifing, because otherwise you're going to be dead. So we're always going to run up against something. But there are several reasons why it's never too late to figure out your purpose. The first one is that your life experiences have prepared you for this moment. I know I get this from a lot of my clients. They feel like they should be somewhere else. Have you ever felt like at this moment in your life, you should have been somewhere else? You should have been farther down the road. You should have been, down there. But at the end of the day, you're right where you're at. And let me just tell you, you're right where you're at because you're supposed to be there. It's the truth. You've made a series of decisions in your life that have led you to this very moment. And trust and believe that those experiences that have led you to this very moment are the experiences that will lead you into your purpose. You have literally had the very experiences that you need in your life to take you to the next level. And let me just tell you, you can't skip steps. I know so many of us might want to be over there, but you ain't going to get over there if you skip steps. You cannot skip steps. You can only go to the next step and to the next step. Now, let me just say this. Your steps can be shortened. It can be shortened, but you got to go, you got to take these steps. And so your life experiences have prepared you for where you are and where you ultimately need to go. And then let me just tell you this. Your purpose, can evolve over time. Like, my purpose has always been within the same realm of helping women, right? It has always been that. It has seemed like I've had different slogans over the years. Like, when I first started off, it was like, I help women get courageous. It was all these things, but at the end of the day, I was still helping women. I was still helping women ultimately succeed. So that has always been my purpose in life. But the vehicle, right, which is what we also still call purpose, it evolves over time. It's not static. It's something that changes. I once wasn't a coach and then I became a coach. And so that vehicle has helped me coach thousands of women and people through difficult times and to figure out their purpose and figure out the right career for them, right? I speak all over. I didn't always speak, right? I've been a short-term missionary in Kenya. I didn't always do that. So it evolves over time. And that's okay. And that's actually good because that is you figured out new ways to share your gifts with the world. And then this is the last one, like why it's just never too late. Your purpose can make a difference at any stage. Like it's so interesting because I look at like all these statistics. We'll see these outliers. We'll see people that are super young that are doing extremely well. Well, let me just tell you that those people are outliers, meaning that's not the norm. Most people literally find success in later stages. Why? Because we know more. We done been through more, right? Like this is why I like coaching adults, because we done been through some stuff, and we can really figure out like we done been through some stuff, so we need to figure out how to go through those things and come out the other side. And so that's why I love coaching adults. But your purpose can make a difference at any stage. And so I'm talking to you if you are sitting in a job, that you hate, because I talk to so many of you who sit in places that are just not serving you. If you're sitting in a job that you hate and you know that you have a passion for something else, you got to start to pursue that thing, because the job is going to be there, but the purpose, I mean, you got windows of opportunity that you need to take. So you need to take those opportunities because it is going to be important for you. It don't matter your age. I had a woman come up to me. She was, I think, 60. And so she asked me, does my school have a senior citizens discount? First of all, this woman looked flawless. Like when I say, I was like, 60 where? Like 60 who? Right? See, she was beautiful. And I wouldn't have even known. But she was like, do they have a senior citizens discount? Because I would love to go back to school. But I mean, do you think it's too late? And I was like, absolutely not. It's not. But I talk to a lot of older people who think that because they're older, they are not useful in corporate America, in the workplace, and all that kind of stuff. And what I say to that is that there's always a place for you. You might not be, wanted at the place that you're at, but another place could use your skills and welcome you. We got to stop thinking that the world works in absolutes. It doesn't. You can be older and go back to school. You can have 10 degrees and go back and get another one because you figured out your true purpose in life. Like, it doesn't matter your age. I think that what we have to do is take all the excuses away from what we're trying to do and just look at the rawness of what it is that we want to do in life. So as always, I'm about to give you a little homework. Now, if we're coaching together, we would co-create this homework. But because this is a class, I'm going to give you a little bit of work that I want you to do in order to get you to where you want to go. It is not too late. I just think that we need to start dreaming again. This country is in a place right now where you can either find the opportunities in the chaos or you can succumb to the chaos. Like, if you know, you know. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You can either find the opportunities in the chaos or you can succumb to the chaos. The choice is absolutely yours. It's yours. So many of you have stopped dreaming. I talk I talked to so many people. I had one client. I told her, I said, I think that you could be a CHRO. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's called a Chief Human Resource Officer. She's works in the industry, human resources. And she was like, really? And I'm like, absolutely. And then she went and she told her husband. He was like, yeah, I thought you already knew that. And she was like, no, you never told me that. And he was like, I didn't think I had to tell you that. You're amazing. You're the bomb. But it is my job as a coach to tell you and to help you begin to dream again, no matter what your age, what your race, what your education level is. It don't matter. If you're supposed to go back to school, you're supposed to go back to school. If you're supposed to go for that promotion because that is your purpose and your dream, then it is time for you to go for that promotion. This is your sign to actually do that. This is me, Dr. Kiki, saying, whatever that thing is, give yourself permission to go forward. Whatever it is, give yourself permission today to move forward. And I want you to drop it. If you're joining me live, drop in the chat or the comments, if you're not joining me live, what that dream is of yours that you've decided to go towards. But here is your homework. So in your journal, in your notebook or something like that, right? I really want you to write and answer the question, what lights you up? What makes you feel the most fulfilled? I want you to answer that question. Or questions, right? What lights you up? What makes you feel most fulfilled? Because here's the thing. Those things leave clues. They leave clues. I get lit up when I'm in front of an audience teaching, which is the reason why I always ask y'all, if you're live with me, to talk to me in the chat and stuff like that, because that lights me up when I'm actually know that what I'm saying is helping, right? And so if you're here and you're in the chat, say yes, 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 yes in the comments, right? So I love that. Thank you for doing that. That lights me up when I know that I'm truly helping you succeed. But what lights you up? What is that thing? I want you to write about it. The second thing is, I really want you to take a small step, right? A small step at doing that thing. Even if that thing is not your job, right? Because we're not all fortunate enough to have our jobs be the thing that that helps us, right? That we disseminate our purpose to the world, that we share our purpose with the world. We're not all so fortunate. But if you are, then great. If not, take a small step, right? To do something, the next step that you're going to do in order to start sharing that gift with the world. So yes, Erica says she's going to create a new craft. Love it. Take that small step at doing that. And then the last one is share what you're doing with a friend, with an accountability partner or something, because or someone like even, you can join Thrive Society, which is our community, because that accountability is going to be the thing that keeps you going. Anytime I embark upon a big venture or even a small venture that I know is ultimately going to be something big, I share it with somebody who I know loves me and I love them, right? Because for me, I need to share my vision with somebody who really does care and knows me enough to be like, all right, I got you. I know you're going to do what you're going to do, right? Who can support me. Not everybody can support you. Not everybody's for you. If a person hasn't done the thing, and they don't have to do the exact thing, but if they are also stuck and can't get out of their way, then you might want to be leery about sharing certain things with those people. But you want to share stuff with people who you know are out there also trying to do it, trying to get it, trying to, motivate, right? So that is where I want you to be. I want you to do that homework. I want you to come back here as well, right? come back here and share it in the comments in the chats what you decided to do, because this is also a place of accountability. So I hope that those things helped you. I am so proud that you got on and you spent this time. If you have not, please go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be coming to you all year with classes on just how to help you do exactly what it is that you need to do. And if you want a supportive community, I invite you to come on over to Thrive Society. That's our membership community. I coach you personally every single month. We have so many different challenges, motivation. It's a place for you to be, right? And to be in community with me. And these teachings happen often. And those are just for the community. So I love you all. I hope that you go out there and start to live and be in your purpose. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.